All right. Um, there's been a few things I've finished since the last stream. This was all the features I planned originally. Um, I finished a lot of them. I did finish the overlay. So, if we go over to this, I've got the little thing I was working on in OBS. Make sure that's enabled. Wonder if this will work. Yeah, it shows a little cute thing. And it shows up. Stop. It keeps going. Um, yeah, that's pretty cool. There's this interface which is right here. Um, that was kind of just part of this. Really all that's left. I made a tiny list of what's left. The playlist, which um I've kind of started working on a bit. Um, there's the purge part of the skip command for the Twitch bot, which will, tie into the playlist stuff. And ah, my headphone battery's low. Gotta plug in my headphones. I'm using my mouse. Um, yeah. All right. Oh yeah, and having a B track. Um, so if no one's queuing any songs, just play some music. And the idea is just to if the queue is empty and there's no next song, then uh add a next song, and then if something is added to the queue, then um if the next song is from the B track, then get rid of it. Um that way if the current song is from the B track, it'll still like play all the way through, but um if the next song up is from the B track and a actual like requested song gets queued, it'll just in fact I might not even like totally remove the I don't know. Cause if the song from the B track were to be like totally removed, then the next time it goes to the B track it might like you might end up skipping that song that was removed. I'll have to think about it. Depends. And then I just have some basic code on how that loop could work. There's still this part, which is like basically everything, like significant. Um, whatever. I have that saved somewhere else. Okay. playlist code that I worked on. I had to split up. There was one auth file, but I had to split up into two, one for Twitch and one for the YouTube API. Um, oh yeah, that stays up there. Irish. All right. Um, what was I saying? Oh yeah, two auth files now. There's the Twitch one and the YouTube one. Um, I'll have to add setting up a YouTube auth client to the README, but they made it easier, so it's not that bad. Um, yeah, it reads in the credentials, and if the credentials are either invalid, well, if they're either aren't present or they are present but they're invalid, then uh, if they're just expired, then try and refresh. Otherwise, just make new credentials. Um, and then once you get the new ones, save it back to the file, and then uh, unlike Twitch, Google, all the Google APIs, there's a nice little library, and then you build your for YouTube v3 with the credentials, and it just throws back this super dynamic object, which is kind of annoying for like knowing what's going on because none of this is typed. And the only API that I like the documentation for is the Google Sheets API. I think all of the other ones are really bad, at least that I've dealt with. But yeah. Hmm. Mm. And I've decided that just for this, mostly what's going to be used in the song queue loop is this add video with a playlist that ID that comes from the config file, um, and then the video ID that comes from the queue. But this create playlist is apparently in YouTube. You can't just create an empty playlist. You gotta go to a song, or not a song, but a video, and then underneath go to save and then make a playlist. So it's just kind of impossible to make an empty playlist. So I just had to decide that this file, if you run it, that's how you can make an empty playlist if you want to, or if you already have one, that works too. Um, but yeah, over here, I don't know if I want to work on the playlist stuff or the B track stuff first. I think I'll do B track. I think B track will be more interesting. Um, B track, and then hmm, the playlist. Why not? Copy. Um, think that'll be fine. I don't know what start radio does. Get rid of that. Um, hmm. Alright, then it's just a matter of reading it in. Um, this will probably be a separate thread. I mean, let's think. I might be able to just somehow incorporate this into Ready Song right here if I'm smart with it, right? Because this condition is the same as just the um that's the same um current is none, next is none. Pop Q. Instead of pop Q, I'd use a different function which if there's something in the queue, it'll pop Q, and it'll make sure that it'll handle all the B track. If next is B track, get rid of it stuff. Um, Actually, I might include that in Ready Song instead. Um, yeah, I should be able to actually incorporate most of this into just Ready Song. So, what is that? What's that gonna look like? Bit of pop Q, dev. Next song. Can still technically return none. Um, Read the configs to get the B track. I well no. I don't know. I don't I need to store which video um is currently being played. Uh oh, next song is already yeah, I can't even name it this anyway. Um hmm, not next. Get I guess next. Hmm. I don't know. Okay, B track, we have to store down here. B track, playlist, B track, index. Right. Uh, if B track and configs, else this part's easier. We got a global B track playlist and B track index. Set both those to none. Current B track is um B track is instance string. I set them to none and then just return pop q. I think that's fair. Otherwise, um, here gotta wow. Um, YTDLP. Um, you know what? Let's just let's try it down here. Or let's pop it up here. YTDLP. Um, oh, hmm. Let's see what this does. List is not recognized as an internal or external command. Um, if I go, hmm, and then if yeah, if I get rid of V, what about that? What happens with this? ITDLP download mix at index. Hmm. Probably get the here. I can. Oh, that's not the right thing. Um. Huh, that's interesting. If I save that playlist, um, and go to my playlists. Oh, um, let's mute that for now, cause oh, yeah, UMG might get a little angry if I play this over Twitch. I don't know. I don't. Well, maybe not playing it over Twitch, but keep it in my VOD. So, just gonna make sure. So, right, this shouldn't be a just a mix anymore. This point should be somewhat of an actual playlist. Ah, it's getting a bit angry that and is in there, right? And then usually when there's an and, it's like, oh, next command. And then it's seeing that list is after the and it's like, that's not a command. You're pretty damn stupid. And that's what's going on. Okay. New. If I do, 5, um, and I get rid of V, and it's just list. Okay, so over to that there, and put 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is this. Let's see if it downloads the right one. Actually, what did it just download? Ocean. Um, hmm, interest. One is Notion. That's not here. So I know mixes are like just generate whatever. How'd that, cause like I'm pretty sure if I were to open this up here and I'll have to mute it. Stop. Uh, 2, 3, 4, 5. Um, no, it's different. Odd. Cause I've saved a, I'm pretty sure I've saved a playlist before. A mix. Um, yeah, this one. We're not gonna play it though, cause I don't remember what's on there. Um, hmm. Alright, let's find a playlist, I guess. Hmm. here. Let's not play. Let's not play it. Ooh, we've got some good ones. Um, wha- oh, hello. Wait, name looks familiar. Name looks familiar. Um, s- hold on. I feel like I remember. Um, is it summer camp, right? Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. I I did dig through my brain. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm working on a music bot for Twitch. So, right, if I go and I pick a song, right? Um, and then and this doesn't like and if this like works, which would be great if it did. Queued. And then once that finishes playing, right? Uh, and if I enable persistence, there's a thing there. I mean, there's the comes with a little music controller. Yeah. So that's just what I've been kind of working on with this, cause why not? But yeah, how's it been? Yeah, I've been pretty. Yeah, yeah, I figured that. It puts a nice big purple arrow next to my on my status. Um, yeah, I just figured might as well try this, you know? If I'm gonna code, might as well stream. Yeah, it is definitely like I've had um I'm trying to like solve something and then I've noticed it takes a lot longer for me to like find a bug where if I'm just like sitting there quiet, not trying to talk the whole thing through. I mean like talking it through can sometimes like help me find stuff, but like for other things like sometimes I need to just like not talk it out, you know? But it's still pretty fun. Um And it's not like coding is like the largest category, so I don't know. But I'm having fun. Um, yeah, where was that? Hmm. we're gonna get this right here. But yeah, right now, um, I've just been trying to, since people aren't always like adding music to the queue, um, I'm trying to have a B track so that here's a playlist that'll read off of when there's no songs in the queue and just play those. Um, I kind of just picked this because I don't know, but we'll see how bearable the songs are because it is just best pop 2025 or whatever that said. Um, as for actually downloading, what was the command? This and hmm, thought we're here. Basically be the same thing. Yeah, type annotations. I'm pretty. I mean, it's not like the end of the world if like, especially for some of the like the Google YouTube API stuff. Um, for when you actually end up building it, it pretty much creates like an object on the fly with all the methods and stuff, so there are no real type annotations. They could set them up, but they didn't. So that's a little lame, but everything else I try to keep it pretty colorful. This is basically gonna be the same thing. Oh no. Uh, zero. Um, playlist start and playlist end. That is not copying. Okay, there we go. Um, I think, and then instead of that, it'll be number. One thing I do need to do is for the overlay, if there's no songs after a while, to even if it's set to persistent mode, you need to tell it to hide itself because it's kind of just sitting there right now. Um, but I'm more in the mood to work on the playlist stuff. Um, tab for spaces. Um, Good enough. If close up, all right, and this should download from a playlist at a position. Um, the playlist URL. Which song? Um, Number 19. Let's go with that one. Uh, So what? 19. Um, and then the file will be autofilled to next. Will it? No, it won't. I left off the dash of anything that's kind of better for testing. Um, let's see. What do you mean? Um, hmm. Where did that go? Odd. Um, all right. Let's leave that off. Oh, no. I guess that's the parts. Okay, downloaded the right one. That's good. And if let's pick a different one. In fact, let's pick one. Ed Sheeran. Good. All right. So let's grab in the right songs. Um, I don't know why specifying best audio wasn't working. Hmm. To make sure these get nuked. Um, Try that. Come on, Ed Sheeran. And hmm, format did it pick? YTDLP formats. Can I get a... Yeah. WebM. Okay. So it is just audio. That's good. So that time it worked. I don't know. I don't know. Say it works. If it doesn't work, then it won't work, and we can fix it later. Uh, hmm. Alright, back over here. What's our... Next is none. Right. The queue is empty. So that can just be built into get next song. If current B track equals B track playlist, then hmm, I don't know. Else, actually, this is the one I do know. If they're the same, then actually it'd probably be best to do that, perform some sort of change to get into the proper state so that um you can continue on to do whatever I'm about to tell it to do. Um Alright, you need to check. Yeah, I use ellipsis if it's more of a temporary thing, and pass if it's more of a final thing. That's just a um how it happens in my mind. But yeah, either one's it's basically the same thing. If you wanted to be really cool, pretty sure you could just put 0, and that works too. Because ellipsis itself is just it's the same as true or false. It's just an ellipsis object. Um, so yeah, just any statement after beginning a new block. Uh, what do I want? Read. I have it in here almost exactly as it needs to be. Ooh, it's not good. Indent that. Um, hmm. Right, and that's gonna check if there's any actual content in the file. If there is, should to be, and then Hmm. Up to here. Neat that B track is next. I say flag in the little document I have, but really it can just be a boolean. Oh, the hell. Um, oh yeah, another cool thing is the arrow keys on my laptop are broken. So I have a numpad, but in VS Code, like to go backwards, you do like alt back, like alt left, alt right, backwards, forwards. Um, but because it's on my numpad, it's saying like, oh, that's a Unicode character. Um, and then I have to get rid of it. And it's really great. Um, the yeah, I mean the down arrow still works. I it's just up, left, and right have decided to uh take an infinite vacation. So, um, hmm, right. Custom keybinds. I mean, maybe. I've kind of already gotten into the habit of just backspacing, but I could look into that. Um, hmm. So, if the queue's populated, it needs to, if, what was even the thing I added? B track is next, right? If B track is next, then it needs to, next song is none, and then if step path, just make sure, right? And then next song, otherwise, and then kind of the inverse, not, interesting keybind, system level, next to space. Okay. Hmm, interesting. Yeah, I'm taking a physics class right now, and for the labs, uh, we have to do it on MacBooks. So I've been having to get used to that, and it's like all right. I feel like the keyboards, I don't know, aren't maybe aren't like labeled as well. Because even if you don't have a numpad, like I'm pretty sure the like under the arrow keys it'll have home and end, but yeah, I mean it's the same thing for the MacBook. It's like function and then the arrow key for home and end. I don't know. It's just it's just different. But yeah. Hmm. Yeah. If not next, then need to load. Function key. Open emoji menu. Yeah, I'm used to Windows dot. It's a bit slow. Like you can do Windows dot and start typing, and it'll start typing stuff before it registers in the emoji thing, which is pretty annoying. Ooh, double tap, open Apple Intelligence. That's really great. That's just amazing. Yeah, I don't like all the Copilot stuff Windows has been adding. I've been thinking of actually switching to Linux because of that. And then while I'm at it, um, since Chrome is getting rid of Manifest v2, I just figured, around the summer when that happens, I'll just do the whole switch. Switch to Firefox, switch to Linux, just switch it all over. I'll have to think of a distro and whatnot, but what distro, flavor, um, desktop, environment. Yeah, Chrome is well, yeah, Chrome has its issues. I think even right now it's using like almost 3 gigs on my computer of memory. Um, well, 2, almost 2. I've seen it reach almost 3. But yeah, does have good like standard support because for the most part it ends up not defining, but I don't know. Google's got a pretty heavy hand, and that's also kind of what's been going on with the manifest stuff. Um, they're depreciating V2 and rolling out V3, which really cripples what extensions can do when it comes to ad blockers, which makes sense why Google would want to roll that out. So basically, uBlock Origin isn't going to be able to, yeah, block like intercept requests and then manage it at that level. Yeah, might have to. I don't know. YouTube's looking pretty ugly right now. Someone's gonna have to. I mean, it's a hugely monumental task to have a centralized video hosting service of that magnitude. So whatever does come out next, if something does come out next, is would have to be um decentralized at least in some capacity or like volunteer run like with Tor you can run nodes. Um yeah, I would rather like chop my hands off than have to use Safari day in day out. Okay, Next.js. I try and stay away from server-side JavaScript because I think it's a little silly, but yeah, if it works, it works. Yeah, hybrid. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like even JavaScript for the client, like my ideal world would be browsers running Lua, because I just think in general JavaScript is pretty awful. I mean the thing was made in like under like 20 days, and it's just kind of been snowballing since then. Um, I don't know. It does have some. Mm, ooh. See, I think TypeScript is even sillier because doesn't that just get turned into JavaScript, right? Um, so why not just yeah, transpiled. Okay. I don't know. As a problem-solving tool, I'm sure it's fine. I'd rather not work with it. It's a personal preference. Hmm. Um, anyway, if they're if B track isn't set, what? I like basically I've been getting into Go. Um, but this little thing here, where which one? Yeah, this is run off Flask. This little screen here. Oh. See, I thought Vue was pretty popular, but knowing web dev, not surprised to hear that it's dying. 'Cause man, um, ooh, yeah, it goes pretty awesome. It does some things different, and it's a bit odd, but none of it's like terrible. Most of it's pretty cool. And I do like that errors are returned rather than always being thrown, because that way you don't have to waste time on generating a stack trace. That's always nice, because Python, uh, the way of Python is to raise exceptions for everything, and it's also exceptionally slow. So it's really great. But yeah, React is the only of those three front end frameworks uses JSX, HTML combined with JSTS. Hmm. If I had a job, I'd probably end up having to learn a framework, which, whatever. But just for my own projects, I try to stick with just vanilla whatever. Like this just all playing JavaScript. This is all playing JavaScript. I've done like 700 lines of playing JavaScript for stuff, and it's all right. It's fine, and it runs really well. It loads really well. It's all really good. Oh, pre-made customizable components for React. Hmm, cool. Yeah. I just feel like if I were to use React for stuff like this, I probably wouldn't have as good as an understanding. Yeah, I'm using async await and arrow functions. I'm definitely using those. In fact, it's right here. Both of those. Yeah. Um, hmm. Where was I? Where? So, hmm. What exactly is meant by like it's a renderer? Like I've never really dealt with React. So does it is there like some sort of custom syntax that it has to parse and then turn into elements and then manage those elements? Okay. Oh, yeah. I think I've seen you do the parentheses and then you write out the HTML. I think I've seen that. Okay. I mean, usually the way I end up doing it is like think of a if you think of a form of the actual validation would be in the back end and then you just do like simple validation on the front end to make sure you're not wasting time with a request, like making sure like required fields are filled uh and like that it's a certain length and stuff, but actually like checking that like a username is unique wouldn't happen on the front end. But yeah, whatever gets the problem solved. Mm. Oh, does it is React like does that end up getting built into a like a oh, okay. So React just handles the front end and you would have something else that handles actually serving the React content. Okay. See, that seems really complicated. I don't know. Links don't work? Wow. Mm. Um, yeah, it sounds like there has to be a reason people are using it, right? I just, from how it sounds, wouldn't want to use it. But yeah, because like the way I do it is here. I can, where is it? Web, right? You have a root. It's just simple Flask. You have a root. Um, actually, yeah, music. I mean, I'm fine with like a backend framework because that's like way more complex. But a lot of the complexity, I could see like in the days of what Ajax having that, because I know JavaScript wasn't always as great to deal with, but nowadays the browser does provides like a lot. Um, you really don't need a front end framework, is my opinion. But yeah, back end framework totally makes sense. Uh, Flask uses Jinja for the templating, and then it's just templates. Yeah, yeah, none of it is. Oh, I actually like writing CSS. Um, I mean, this hasn't really demanded a lot style wise. Um, what is Tailwind? Mm, so is it like SCSS where you're like, um, actually like kind of doing code, or is it more like, um, what's the word? Just a bunch of like pre-made stuff. Like what is it? Supposes HTML classes. HTML runs client side. Okay, so it does run client side. Um, then again, I don't know how SCSS runs, but yeah, because Flex, Justify Center, Item Center, that's all. Um, Heck, I think I might have a class that's maybe not. Center. I have align items, yeah. Display, flex direction, align items. So it's plain CSS. I from that I just it sounds like it's just making classes um with attributes and then just providing those so you don't have to define them yourself, which is like fine. What is JSX? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is a lot of terms. Yeah. All right. All right. Yeah. It's a different world. It's not like I feel like none of it is like totally hard to understand. It's just a lot of moving parts. Yeah. I actually haven't gotten like I have Qt down like installed still. It's like 50 gigs. I haven't used it much, but I think if I came back to it now that I have a better C++ understanding, I'd probably get it a lot more. Um And I also looked at the Python version just to um because I understand Python like way better, just to like um look at it through a different lens. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I really do want to use it more, but nothing I've had to do or felt inspiration to do has kind of required that of me as of recent. Yeah. I do have I'm taking a macroeconomics class, and the site my teacher has for that, it's like um, our university has like
Dupe.
if you log in, oh, thank you for the follow. Wow. But that actually kind of startled me. It's like, oh, that's my voice. Did my microphone settings go kaput and I can hear myself? Nope, that's just the alert sound. What was I saying? Uh, yeah, you can do like there's user pages. So like if you have an account, you can make a website from and it just ends up being like a subdomain. Um, but yeah, his site is kind of awful. White background, Times New Roman. Uh, and for spacing between things, it's the um HTML escape code for the space repeated multiple times instead of any kind of styling or anything. And I looked at it first day of class, and um I was trying my best. I wasn't I was trying my best to not laugh, but like not like laugh at him. It was just really funny to see because I'm so used to coding and it looks good. And then he's an econ major. I wouldn't expect him to make a good looking website. It's just kind of funny to see um, thousands of lines of HTML, and half of them are just plain new lines, not even like the BR element, just like a new line. Um, which I assume is from like he might have used some software to make it. Yeah. What was I doing? I've been talking so much. Not that that's bad. That's why I'm streaming. I'm just not used to getting so sidetracked while coding. Um, yes. It needs to load the function I just made. Um, uh, download video playlist needs to get a track playlist. Um, index, and then put it in there. Okay. Hmm. And I think that'll give me a bit of track index is equal to uh, current track, and then, or not index, track playlist, and then track index is set to 1. Um, hmm. All right. I don't like that all of this is in that. I don't want to have to follow up in that long. All right. So, alright, that's a string, else gotta do that. And then if big track is next, and next song is not actually, and the stop path not is fun. Next file, fun to stop, and then the track is next is equal to false. All right. Um. Hmm. Starting to look good. Um. I think with this, doesn't feel right. What's wrong? It's doing a flip flop, but on the if it's set, um, just wait for it to be done. Um, I need to somehow get the um hmm I need to get the video ID and everything else. I can't just hop into. All right, then I actually shouldn't need um a separate download video playlist cuz um what do I use to get, yeah, get video, um double dash print percent ID. All right. I'll get I'll probably be something a bit more like this. So from that, put new. Um, I'm gonna kind of take some inspiration from that, but instead of printing out the duration or the title or anything, we're actually downloading anything, just getting the video ID. Really, I should probably. Mm, whatever, make it modular. Rid of ignore errors. Specify that. Instead of dash O, can be double dash print. And then, oop, okay, what was that? Percent ID. Hmm, so that should throw ID to the subprocesses standard out. Oh no, shame. Turn types wrong on this anyway. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just immediately IDP um and out ID. If IDP dot return code, then I'll return hmm, get video URL. Hmm, maybe it's this I should break up more. No, that needs a URL anyway. This is AOK as youtube.com/watch b equals and out ID decode tf8. Interesting Python fun fact. Uh, F-string is the fastest form of concatenation since um, it's a separate syntax for it because every other form of formatting a string in Python needs to do a method call, which is whether you're just adding it or if you're doing dot format or if you're doing the percent. And since it needs to go and look up the method and then do all the type checking nonsense, it's really slow. Or with an F string, it just, okay, just turn it into a string and put it in there. And it doesn't have to do any nonsense. Um, yeah. Hmm. I think this is good. I think this is a-okay. Yeah, yeah, I do remember hearing about that, which is cool. Because before, couldn't you yeah, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure doesn't having them inlined do a little bit of something with how variables work in the comprehensions? I'm pretty sure something changed with that. Like some scope thing changed. I don't quite remember. I just remember reading like, hey, comprehensions are faster now, which is always nice. Um, yeah, I think this should work. Uh, so instead of that, um, rec index. I suggest, yeah, I know what inlining does. Um, Yeah. Yeah, Python can use any little optimization it can get because right now I'm pretty sure it doesn't really do much in that department. There's a just-in-time compiler, whatever in the works, if I remember correctly, which will be really nice. But I'm pretty sure as it stands right now, there's hardly any optimizations that get done to your Python code. Kind of just goes through, turns it into bytecode, and then runs it, which is why Python is slower than JavaScript. Like, way slower. Uh, it is definitely easier, and I guess yeah, because Python was actually it has faster binary operations because it was actually designed right. Um, and the way a list is sorted isn't by turning everything into a string. Um, one I'm pretty sure one good thing of the server-side JavaScript is that it can kind of change how things are done with the standard whatever. It can change like how that's implemented. But ideally JavaScript just would have been designed a bit better in the first place. Um, all right, get the next song. That should just work, I think. What does PopQ do? Okay, PopQ just, yeah, returns that. Oh, actually, then that should just be immediately returned. Um, if the queue isn't empty, yeah. Otherwise, just get the video at this index. Basically, a hobby project became industry standard. C++ Sailor's End. Carbon? I'm pretty sure I've heard of Dart, but Carbon. Wow. That I haven't dealt with Rust, but it looks like Rust. Yeah. Hey, we're gonna make a successor to C++, but make it run worse. Ooh. I mean, you can always fix that if you put in the work. Um, but before you make a language, you should really kind of ask, why am I making this? Unless it's just for fun or like to learn. If you're making and the reason they're making the language is to get people to use it so then they can shove down whatever junk they want, like they're doing with VS Code and GitHub Copilot or whatever. Um, don't use the C++ module system except the creator. Yeah,
See, I try to not use it because I wanna write as much of my code as possible. One to make sure I'm good at writing code. You know, make sure I'm up to snuff. And two, because I actually like writing code, and I don't want an AI to steal my fun. Um, but I guess IntelliSense is somewhat close. It's so at what point do you draw the line? But I think Copilot's a bit too much. It's fine if it helps you. I just don't want to use it. Yeah, try to write an entire algorithm. That's a bit crazy. I just want the variable name. I don't need um some schmucks uh gist on GitHub that maybe works and has been run through whatever LLM. Um yeah. I guess one thing I could use AI for is to like document the code and then just go through and because like I know how it works. I don't want to have to think about the words I would need to create to describe how my code works. But like I could then go through and see what words have been generated to describe and then like see if it matches what's in my head and then work from there. That could be like a legitimate use case. Yeah, I kind of try to not use ChatGPT for anything cuz I don't know. I just don't really like it. It's 100% like a personal just like super petty thing. I just open it up and I get wrinkles in my forehead. I don't like it. I'm sure it works great. Yeah. I'm more interested in the at least when it came out, I was more interested in the ethical side of like AI and like what is the nature of its existence? At what point do we consider it to be uh like as it advances, how much does it approach uh being like an individual, like a person? Now it's been like what 4 years since it came out. I kind of don't care, and it's kind of more become a way to get people to invest into your startup. Um, that's kind of it seems like the main thing it's being used for. There's other great things it's being used for. Um, but yeah, I feel like people are trying to shove it. A lot of people are trying to shove a LLM shaped square into into a not LLM shaped hole. Um, you know, and it's just not great. Like I'm sure there's other kinds of AI that aren't just uh effectively parrots that you could use to solve a problem. You could train a different model. Like the hardware has gotten so good and specialized for this stuff. Like you don't have to use a language model, but everyone like a lot of people are using them, and like yeah, I've used I have a Samsung phone. I've used like the I'm sure all the modern phones have it. The AI edit the photo. I've used that once, and it turned out okay, I guess. Like it worked. If I wanted to like actually like professionally like get it done for like anything like good, I'd probably ask someone to actually edit the photo. Um, just because I'd like to, I don't know, One UI 7 contextual erasing. Wow. Does it like look through other pictures of you to figure that out? I mean, that's pretty cool. Yeah, like how else would it know? Like you can only get so far by like predicting like what a face looks like. Like you'd have to like what a face in general looks like. You'd have to go through and like find what this person's face specifically looks like and then predict what that would look like just in the context of, you know, how it's oriented. Like I can't imagine it just working off of a face in general. Yeah. I mean that predicting like what's behind, I'd imagine that's just like an enormous amount of training data that goes into that. Yeah, because why would you use an AI? You just get someone to edit it, and then if it's like a person, you can yeah. I don't know. It's good for demos. It's good for getting things done fast. I think I don't know. And it is like I'm not trying to say it's like bad. Like I like it like from a technological standpoint. Like if you look at the stuff that's like going on to actually make it happen, it's really cool. Um, like I'm pretty sure generative works just by associating like certain parts of images with you know, tokens, words, and each word has its own like number value and whatever uh there's like a there's so many numbers for yeah, exactly what an LLM does, but instead of putting out words, they keep those numbers that the words are associated with and link it to like images, I'm pretty sure. Because like each word is has so many dimensions of like meaning and it's like a however many dimensional space kind of. I remember watching a video. But yeah, it's cool. Ooh. I tried. It was before AI got big. I tried doing TensorFlow, and it was around when I first started with Python. so I couldn't really wrap my head around it. And I don't know, I haven't really touched it since because I've mostly been focused on um, stuff like this. Here, let me open that here. Sample transformer. Yeah. Oh yeah, that would only show if there's no README. Duh. Um. Yeah. All right. I'll look at this. I'll look at this later. Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. Um. Yeah. The texture's there. It's really cool. All right. Um. Yeah. Okay. So this should be now this function. Let's run through it one more time. Get the configs. Get the current B track. If B track is a valid value, um, then if it's changed, then set the global to the new value and reset the index. Um, then go open the queue, check its contents. If the queue isn't empty, then set the queue populated flag, and then Yeah. If the beat track is next flag is set, um, then clear whatever song is currently set as next. Then make sure the flag is unset. And otherwise, if the queue is empty, uh, clear the queue populated flag, set the beat track flag, and then um, since I mean, hmm, no, because this will hang the only spot that it matters, and that'll be fine. Yeah, set this flag and then get the video from the playlist. Um, and then this runs into here. So basically, if next line is none, it'll do that. Um, hmm. I do need to add a check. Um, that song equals next song. So here we need to do another check. Um, if hmm, before it actually goes to play that song, you need to um hmm no, it should probably happen up here. If B track is next, if that's set, then basically the same check as from up here. That queue populated set, else queue populated cleared, and when setting this, then um yeah. All right. Hmm. It's fine. All right. Yeah. Nice talk to you. Um. Yeah. Thanks. Good luck with your stuff too, man. See ya. Um. Hmm. Okay. Was I just at? Um, pretty sure it was around. Hmm. Oh yeah, it was here. Party song. All right. So, um, Vern Ready song. It'll get next song. Get next song. Right. Okay. I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to increment. Um, think right here. If um B track is net or I think I'll have a local variable in this. B track is current, which is just going to be B track is next. And then really, I don't even need to have it there. I can just have it here. Or like, probably somewhere around. Yeah, I'll put it here. B track is current. And then if B track is current, then it'll have to um, increment the B track index by 1. Right? Because you only want to. Because let's think about this. If we incremented it here in get next song, like if we were to do B track index plus equals 1 here, or like if it was like after the return, like RTV equals, and then return here, if it was to be this, then if this song gets replaced before it can actually be played, like if someone adds like, let's say current song A is being, like song A is being played, and then song there's nothing in the queue, so song B from the B track is set to next, right? But then someone goes in and adds song C to the queue. Um, if this increment were in place, um, song C would replace song B as next, right? Um, and then once song A stops, and then song C goes to be current. Since this has been incremented, even though it got replaced, then instead of song B being put back as next, now that the queue's empty again, song D would be put there, and you would have just like skipped a song from the B track, which, um, you know, I do need to add logic into skip, to make sure, like, if the queue's empty, then just pass the skips onto the B track, right? For every, like, if you say skip 5 and there's only a current, next, and then one item in the queue, then you have 2 extra that you need to increment the B track index by, right? If there is a B track. You know? Um, so I do need that, but yeah, that does not get incremented there. Because if we increment it this way, then it only increments if the B track song made it to the current song is actually being played, and that song either was skipped or it finished or whatever. Um, then it gets incremented. And I actually do need to, um, if the current song is a B track song, I need to make sure I don't. I need to increment the skip counter one less. So actually, B track is current might need to be global. Make it global for now because it's kind of easier to do that now. I don't know why that's set to true. B track is current false. Um, yeah, and then that gets set there. There you go. And again, this runs so infrequently, it'd just be easier to do that. Because since Python is, so slow, it's actually a pretty significant tank to your speed if you're constantly assigning when you don't need to be. But since this runs so infrequently, it just really doesn't matter. Um, hmm. Well, where's the config file? And then get rid of that. Huh. I think they might have changed how this works. That was earlier from like testing that. Um, it's odd that the actual mix itself has been added, because this was a mix too. Um, and now I see that it's a playlist, which is why I thought that would do, but no, this is just a mix now. That's been to my account. I think I have to remove it from here. That's kind of lame. It was actually nice to be able to get a mix you like and say, hey, I like songs arranged as they are here. Let me turn that into a playlist. Um, but oh well. Um, yeah, make sure it's this playlist link. Um, maybe I should add support for like a start at. Let me just do that now. Whatever. Uh, URL. Um, actually, I might just want the ID. Maybe. Uh, I'll set it to watch. I think that's okay. And then an optional start is at 1. Or not 1. 1 is just what it normally is. 2. Let's start at 2. I'll start us on, Uptown Funk. Ain't that a good one? Hmm. Um, yeah. How long's it been? 2 hours. Alright. I don't know if I'll do 2 more or 1 more. Um, I kind of started later than I wanted to, because I wanted to make sure this playlist stuff was working, so that, because that requires, like, uh, Google API stuff, which has my email, and I didn't really want to have to manage, like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta, hide my, screen capture. I didn't want to deal with that, so I just figured I'll get that all working before um I start. And then it took a bit longer than I thought it would. So, um yeah. Hmm, don't need those open. Can close that. Um where's yeah, okay. I was doing Git. Um all right. Current beat track equals none. And then we'll do it like this. We'll set default and then conditions into setting it to an actual value. Beat track in configs, then beat track options here. If is instance beat track settings a dictionary and b index equals none. And URL and start. So it definitely needs URL. Because if there's no URL, then, what's the point? Um, and then we'll do if, or no, current index is, mm, okay, let's do it, mm, current index equals track settings dot get start, default to 1, then if is instance, if it's a float, let's set it to an int. Um, should be min. And then elif it's not an int, then not right, it has to be an int, which is greater than 0. That's its final condition, but it's not an int. Set it. Oh, right. Otherwise, it's just going to be set to 1. Um, if we look at current index here, it should either be int or unbound, and get rid of that there, and then current index right here really should be like not unbound here, because maybe if I define this as a string, it'll have an easier time. No, that's a bit silly. Let's just define it as none. Really, you shouldn't be able to access it from here, because if it was unbound, then this would have been none, and if this is none, then it's not a string. If it's not a string, then you never use it. But btrack index should get set to um current index, which somehow is possibly none from here, but whatever. Type annotations aren't everything. Hmm. Why is that scrolling better? Maybe it's just a visual thing. I think it is. Just a optical illusion. Um, hmm. Okay. I think this is in a state where it can be tried. So, I'm gonna have to kill that and murder that. Um, oh, hmm. Remain pie in there. I don't really need the ooh. Can I access local variable where it's not? Btrack is next. And what does this also? No. Actually, I shouldn't need this. Okay. Interesting. No. Um. Huh. So get next song. Let's go in here and um kind of print out ID. I just want to see. Okay, I can see why maybe that wouldn't exactly be working. I know it would have a new line on it. Let's see if that changes anything. Nope. Um, keep that change, but uh, what is this? It's a cute video. FRTV. Actually, just at first, let's just see what's happening. If it's even an object or if it's none. It is none. Okay. So it's not actually printing out anything. that would tell me that it's none. It is getting a video ID, which, you know, and then it takes that video ID and it puts it, ooh, uh, it should be fine. So where would it be returning but not printing? Returning but not printing. So it would have to be this final, like, huh. There is nowhere that it returns without printing. Returns none without printing. Right. If it gets in this block here, then it returns there, and that's not none. Um, it could be in this here, but it prints there. It could be in this, but it prints here before just naturally returning none. Um, that prints there before naturally returning none, so does that. Um, this also prints before returning none. So I'm kind of just really stumped. Oh, duh, it's not returning. Yeah, the return code there is bad. Um, this is where it's returning without printing. Um, failed to get, but it got an ID. Uh, here. Failed to get video ID for spot, for, playlist number, um, number, and then F. Uh, let's just, print the return code. IDP dot return code as well as out. Let's just, ooh, that's supposed to not be a G. Let's just see what happens, right? Warning 0. Ew, if not. Silly me. Invalid URL. I feel like that's not right. Right, if I to go there, would get this. So it's trying to do a match. Yeah, invalid URL only exists there. It's the only place that could have been printed. YouTube.com watch v equals. Um, So why is that not being matched? Also, why was that not muted? Um, Regex 101. My bad habit of constantly pressing Control S has polluted my history, and now that comes up. That's great. That's amazing. I would like it to just be this. Whatever. That's fine. Other way around. Um, and then get the regex there. Why isn't this match? What's going on? Hmm. So the HTTPS is somehow not matching. Why? I don't know how. How's that not matching? That doesn't make sense. Get rid of that. It's the HTTP. I don't get it. Alright. One, two, three. Matches exactly. Put it in an optional. Capture group there. Right. If I only get rid of that. Make it have to be at the beginning. So if I do that, doesn't work. But now I want to also allow HTTP. So I have to do that and that. How is this different? I also need to allow www. Oh, that needs to be separately optional. Did I mess that up somehow? Okay. New and improved. Oops. Alright.
what's the yeah. Here's the question mark, which is like whatever, and then put the www in its own group. That's optional. Um, yeah, wood. Very good. Okay. Current. Oh, is this gonna update? Oh, it's on the. Yeah, it got disconnected. Yeah, okay. And this also needs a refresh. Yeah, I don't really want to subject anyone to that. I don't know. I guess it's not that bad. You know what? If you like it, ooh, nope. I don't know. Mm, see, I can still hear it. Um, hmm. Something in my gut tells me to not play it, so we're just gonna roll with that. And for some reason, that's up next still. Oh, it needs to be incremented if it makes it to current, not if it. Okay. Because right now it's only incrementing once. So actually, I don't even. I could have that still. This just needs to be before that, maybe. Um, or maybe not even there. That might still get you the same issue. Yeah. Um. Hmm. Um. That'll probably still get the same issue, is what I'm thinking. Yeah, this sucks. So I have to drag it out, make it larger, click here to retry. That's the only way to get it to work again. Um, yeah, it still does that. You're not, you're not, it's not, it's not play that more. I don't feel like listening to that a whole lot. Okay. So, I'll still keep this because it could be useful. But, um, and then I can probably
get rid of B track index and or great. Um, only in ready song. Um, and then here, if B track is next, then B track index plus equals 1. Right. Um, and now I'll just leave the flag as is, because why not? I don't think there's any, like, anything awful if I leave it as is. That's right, it goes through, it says, okay, the queue is still empty. Um, queue's still empty, that just set the queue again, which is, and then you get from the playlist at this index, which has now been incremented. So that's fine. Um, let's refresh this. Refresh this. Um, should all work. I mean, there could be an event that's in PopQ that's not in, um, yeah, there's an event missing. Er, running into the same issue. Wow, that was great the third time around. Um, if ink be next, then b track index plus equals 1, and then over here, set ink be next to true, and right, current song is none, next song is none, and get another one, and it just gets put into current. So ink be next. No, don't set it to true. Set it to b track is next, and do the same thing. In fact, just unindent that song. If not v return, that's fine. Um, right, because if there's no b track, it should just end up returning none. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm aiming for, right, is that Also, it's odd that it's not getting a different video. So, hmm, I don't know. My start is set to 2. Does that make sense with... Yes, that does make sense. Um, Start that back up. Refresh that. Refresh this. I did still forget to set that event. Um, Odd. Oh, it's only queued. So no event. Why? Download to current, and then it's not incrementing. Okay, this... Um, huh. Alright, I have a misunderstanding of the problem. But I do still like this way of incrementing it, as long as the order isn't wrong here, which I don't think it is. Maybe it is. No, it definitely is. Um, yeah, it should be incrementing here. I think the problem was that right, there was no next already, so it was doing this one when I had it under here and it wasn't incrementing. So I do need it to be track index. I do need that to be incremented here if B track is next. Right. It's just I was incrementing it only for this section. I also need to increment it for this section. And it's this section that's running. Right. Um this should work better now. I'm hoping. I might... can I... Oh yeah, it's no. It's not a refresh. Because now I think about it,